Thank you, Justin, and thank you to NRM for inviting me to speak on behalf of WHA today. And thank you also, Louise, for doing such an excellent job of providing us with an overview there of the global situation and the risks of entry to Australia. That makes my job a lot easier. As Louise said, I'll be referring to this virus as H5 throughout this presentation, just so that there's no confusion. And to begin with, just to orient you all in terms of who Wildlife Health Australia are, we're the coordinating body for wildlife health in the country, and our vision is healthy wildlife, healthy Australia. We're a non-government organisation, but much of our funding comes through government in support of our contribution of wildlife health knowledge and expertise to biosecurity preparedness. And so we work through our really extensive networks of stakeholders to link, inform and support those who are concerned with wildlife health, such as NRM. So that's who we are. And today I just want to talk briefly about our various roles when it comes to H5 HPAI preparedness. It's also worth noting that there are some additional aspects of our work that aren't listed here, such as our coordination of the National Avian Influenza Wild Bird Steering Group, as well as Australia's National Wildlife Health Database. But I'll stick today to the areas that are relevant to you guys. And I'll start with some information and resources. So we maintain evidence-based, expert and regularly updated information and resources on H5 HPAI through our incident information web pages. This includes documents that we've developed, such as FAQs, fact sheets, advice on reporting and technical information. And we also provide links to key trusted external sources, so where we know that there's other reliable information, and we provide that in a variety of formats, and that also links into some of the resources that Louise has already signposted for you. As you can see on the right-hand side of the slide, it's an incredibly long list, and it's growing week by week, but we really try to cater to a range of audiences, from the general public right through to a kind of highly technical audience. If there's one thing I'd like you to remember today, it's that we have this specific resource available on the website, and this is our HPAI H5 risk mitigation toolbox for wildlife managers, with a focus, as I've mentioned, on H5 HPAI. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go into what this is in detail today, but if you can see the QR code on this slide and on the next one, you can access it in your own time. What I just want to highlight is that the focus of the toolbox is to help potential users such as yourselves to really understand and articulate the risks in terms of your sites and also your activities, so that you're prepared for when and how HPAI may emerge in your region. So it's intended to be a really practical guide that you can work through in a stepwise fashion, with the resulting information being used to develop HPAI specific risk mitigation plans for your sites and activities. Moving on next to training and expertise. Of course, this overlaps a lot with some of the information and resources that we develop and share, but we also act as a national source of HPAI and biosecurity expertise and training. So we provide expert wildlife health input into jurisdictional, national and international guidelines and policies, such as the AusVet plans and the National Wildlife Biosecurity Guidelines. We also like to raise awareness of the work that others are doing in this space. So on the right-hand side of the slide again, you can see some other opportunities for training and awareness building that we recommend that people explore. And this also includes the National NRM Knowledge Conference that will be taking place in September. And we'll be co-presenting with Bethany Jackson from Murdoch University to provide a workshop on H5 bird flu information and training. So it would be lovely if we get the chance to meet some of you there in person. And it's also worth noting that many of the jurisdictions are in the process of developing their own training and resources for H5 preparedness. So it is worth checking in with your biosecurity and environment agencies on the kind of status and availability of those potential resources. Another aspect of our role is being involved in projects of national significance for H5 preparedness, with two current examples being SOS Wild Birds and the AV Flu mapping tool. SOS Wild Birds is an online platform that was developed by the Northern Australian Quarantine Strategy, and the platform is designed to capture real-time reports of sickness and death in wild birds from across Australia, with a view to collecting data that's relevant to investigating and understanding health threats to wild birds, of course, against the backdrop of the potential arrival of H5 bird flu. So we're currently piloting the platform with the jurisdictions in order to test the feasibility and utility of using this platform to enhance Australia's general surveillance of wild birds. And the other major project that we've been involved with recently is in developing AV Flea Map, which is an interactive mapping platform that can allow users to visualize and understand the risk and potential role of different wild bird species in both introducing and then also in potentially spreading H5 throughout Australia. So this tool was developed in collaboration with Deakin University and BirdLife Australia, also with expertise from the Alfred Wegener Institute in Germany, alongside DAF, DQ, industry, and a host of others. And I'm highlighting it today because it's a tool that can really be used to support risk-based planning by helping to identify areas for preparedness activities based on things like, as you can see in the mapping sources, things like bird movement patterns, known species susceptibilities or predicted species susceptibilities, and also known aggregations of birds throughout Australia. And last but not least, potentially our most important role for H5 preparedness is communication. So we have an extensive network, as I've already mentioned, that includes biosecurity and environment agencies from all the states and territories, Commonwealth agencies and other national wildlife health stakeholders, such as universities, zoos, wildlife rehabilitators, and many others. We've established a network of HPAI preparedness stakeholders that comprises over 300 individual people from all of these groups, giving us a real One Health remit. And as Louise has already mentioned, that's really key to this virus because it is truly a One Health problem. We also provide feedback on national talking points and undertake media activities that help to generate awareness of the risks posed to wildlife by H5 bird flu. And we've also developed a communications guide for HPAI in wildlife that will help other land and wildlife managers to do the same. So just to finish, I think that our greatest strength really is our ability to engage with a large and diverse group of stakeholders, such as yourselves, with information and expertise that's relevant to wildlife health. And those people and organisations can then in turn better contribute their knowledge to the resolution of this really important issue through their association with Wildlife Health Australia. Thanks for your attention. I just thought I'd pop some of the QR codes back on the screen there.